Ross.
And I'm AJ Finney.
And this is
Hippie?
Not Hippie.
Yeah, let's hit that green button. Ow, now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of Hippie, Not Hippie. Yeah! This is pretty exciting. That was Robbie Peoples. You heard James Frostman playing us in there on the intro. This is exciting because this is our first episode of the podcast where we know that the podcast actually exists.
Right. Yeah.
Out in the world because, we started recording back in July and we had no idea whatsoever about what we were going to do or what this podcast is going to be about. It didn't have a name.
The first 3 episodes are really just us trying to go, we should name this thing.
Yeah, and I think what's great about that is that I still don't think we really know what it's about.
Right. I think we're getting there.
But I don't think we care. we did care before, and, you know, we had recorded 5 episodes through to, I think early September was our last one, or August 25th was the last episode that we recorded.
Yeah,
and
none of which we got to editing.
Yeah, and then it took us 3 months just to be okay, we have enough confidence in ourselves to put this out. Basically what happened is that we both watched
Stutz.
We watched Stutz, Jonah Hill's documentary on Netflix, and we were like, oh, yeah, maybe we should just stop giving such a fuck and put this out. We watched Stutz and then literally put the podcast out a week later, I think.
It's also funny to watch those videos that we've got because I realized that we're both in shorts and it is December.
Oh, yeah. And I've lost 20 pounds. I lost a girlfriend, then got her back. I mean, it's all kinds of things have happened since then.
The dog's still gone, though.
Yeah, dog's still gone. Shrek's still fine.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Things are going good. I'm happy. And I'm happy that the podcast is out. And thank you for growing along with us and listening and give us a chance to, fuck around. And, the feedback has been appreciated.
Yeah,
so.
We actually, it's not we've got good reviews. That was because neither of us were like, how's this going to go? What are we going to do?
Yeah, it's almost like our friends didn't go online and bash us. Holy shit.
It is weird to think that somebody would do that. But it's definitely back there in the ether of the brain,
Yeah, I was really tempted
to bash us.
Yeah, well, to just start spreading the word out there, hey, if you could just give us 5 stars, but mention that AJ smells, or what you think he smells like, that would be great. But
maybe that's a poll we could do later of I don't know. We should do polls at some point where we could get people involved by doing something, whether it's how stinky we are, what you think we smell like, what you would compare it to, what type of products you think we use.
So. I don't know. There's been all kinds of stuff that happened. AJ was in the midst of his ketamine therapy last time. A few changes with that. Your insurance just abandoned you halfway through, right? And was no, you're gonna have to stop paying. You're gonna have to start paying top dollar for this drug now.
Yeah, it was exactly what happened. It made me so mad, and I don't know exactly who to be mad at, whether it was the clinic or the insurance company, but. All in all, the insurance company covered my first 6. And then on my 7th one, I called them the day I was going in. And they were like, hey, do you have, I don't know if I should beep this out. Do you have Aetna? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, did you hear? And I'm like, why would I hear? I've called you 19 times with no response. And they're like, yeah, they're not going to cover it. And I was like, so what are we doing? And they're like, well, you can still come in. Your appointment's set. You just go from $84 an appointment to $399.
Yeah, so they are a drug dealer. They definitely are a drug dealer. Holy shit.
So I went through that. I did one more episode, or I did one more session of the ketamine. I did it at night instead of doing it during the day, and I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy it as much. I like doing it during the day because it felt like I was doing something therapeutic. When I left that office and got my Uber back home, it just felt like I was doing drugs. It felt kind of gross.
Well, and you had said that it had helped with your depression and anxiety at the time, and
it did. Honestly, it was really helping. I was dealing with stuff a lot better than I had before. I wish I probably should have looked at it, but I bet it's been. I mean, October was the last time I did it, so it's been almost 2 months since I've done any ketamine. I definitely started having ups and downs again.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely you've been spiraling again.
Yeah. I've been zinging around all over the place.
Okay. So wow. So your take on the ketamine therapy is that if you did do it, it works, but it's not like it's something that you would have to keep doing.
Yeah, I don't know. So, and they explained that to me when I started, like, because you go through so many sessions, then you're going to go through like once a month. Then after once a month for 3 months, maybe then you go once every 2 months. So they want you to keep doing it and monitor how you're behaving. And I'll tell you right now, after doing ketamine 7 times and then having my insurance go, I'm not going to do it anymore, I don't feel as good.
Well, yeah, so that's kind of fucked up. So this thing was working and could have worked, but at the end of the day, your insurance was like, we're not going to cover it, and you can't afford to spend $390 per session.
Right. I don't know who could, to be honest with you, for the introduction of it, where you have to go through 7 to kind of to try to figure out where your dosage is and how it works for you. I don't know how anyone outside of someone who is really wealthy could do this at $399 a session.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. We're so poor that we don't really like the median income for Colorado is like $70K.
Yeah. So. I mean, I guess what you could do is, man, this is weird coming from me, but I'm about to give a trashy hack of the week.
Yeah.
I guess you could just apply for a credit card, get the credit card, max it out on ketamine, and then you're done. You don't have to pay that credit card back, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been so that's been kind of my theory with healthcare my entire life. It's like when I got hit with a machete, I went to the doctor.
I forgot about that machete hit.
It was $2,000 for the machete wound and the ambulance ride, and I just never paid for it. When I got hit with the car by the hit and run driver on foot, that was $20,000, and I just never paid for it. But I didn't feel like I should have to pay for those because I didn't swing the machete and I didn't drive the car. So that was kind of principle, you know. I was like, I'll ruin my credit on principle.
Right. But can you? I don't know. I guess if the same thing happened to you that happened to me, right? You could just max that credit card out, and when they start calling you, go, oh yeah, no, my insurance company's going to take care of that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
just bill them.
I don't know. You're already a homeowner and you're married, so Marciana has credit. So, you know, maybe you should just get a divorce, max out a bunch of credit cards, and do ketamine.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's a great idea.
I don't know. I don't know if great's what I'd say, but it is an idea.
No, man. This episode's coming out right after Christmas.
Yeah, right after Christmas and before Thanksgiving.
So,
I mean New Year's.
Well, it is before Thanksgiving, though. I guess it's after. Yeah, but it's also before.
It's also before Thanksgiving 2023.
Yeah, no, you just fucked my brain on that.
Sorry,
dude. All right, cool.
Ketamine didn't affect me.
Yeah. Well, I do have a trashy life hack. I wish I could have got it out before Christmas, but if you are still like, shit, I had a friend that got me a gift. I'm a little poor this year. I don't have enough money to get them a gift back. Or maybe, your family sent you a gift and you're going to see them later and you still need to. If you need a cheap gift ever for anybody, I recommend just taking a walk around a nice neighborhood.
You're not stealing packages, are you?
No, not packages. You just go to the free library and
the ones that people build in the neighborhoods?
Yeah. I've got like 10 of them within a block of my house. I've never actually done this because I don't believe in giving gifts.
So
yeah, like you brought me a package today.
I did bring you a package today.
AJ brought me a Christmas present, and all I could think was, God damn it.
Now I got to get him a book.
Yeah, now I got to steal a book from a free library for AJ just so that karmically we're even. Yeah.
I have a question. So if you were, does it depend on the person? Are you going to go through several free libraries looking for the perfect book? Are you going to blind grab something?
I think within 4 free libraries in my neighborhood, you could probably get a book for almost anybody that they would like.
You know what we should do? We should go through the free libraries and take some pictures to put up on our Patreon.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Oh, yeah, we have a Patreon now. It's at Hippie, not Hippie Pod.
Yeah. We've done so much since the last time we met.
Yeah, fuck. It's been a lot. But yeah, we're trucking. But yeah, that's my trashy life hack of the week. Go to a free library near you and get yourself a gift for somebody. Because here's the thing. If you're feeling bad about it, people don't read enough. All right? Most of those books sit in there forever. I lived next to 2 free libraries for a while before my new neighbors moved in and were like, we don't want to spread reading.
Wait a minute, they took one down?
Yeah, the neighbors next to me took out their fucking free library.
Wait, wasn't that the first one that got put in when I lived here?
Yeah, and it was a new condo where they built like a brand new free, like it was like the free library was as nice as the new condo. And when the new people moved in, they were like, nah, we don't want people stopping by looking through things in our front yard.
I wonder, did they think that it was bringing in bad elements?
I don't know, man. I don't know what their fear was, but I don't know. I kind of want it because I used to love just being able, every night I would walk by and I'd be like, ooh, there's new books in there.
Yeah.
What is it? But I would put books back in there. I mean, that's what it's for, you know? It's
an exchange.
But who says that it's a bad thing if you're poor to get a gift of a book to give to somebody to spread the joy of reading? I don't know. I think
that's I know we're calling them trashy life hacks, but I don't know if that's that trashy. It's there for gifting. Like it's there to receive. So you're also just.
Yeah, I like how your trashy life hack was just straight up fraud. You're like, yeah just get a credit card, max it out, disappear, change your name.
Be another person. Yeah, no, mine was strictly illegal. Like it was just giving it to the government.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's my trashy life hack. But yeah, so the ketamine could have worked, but since it didn't, now you're actually on a fucking pharmaceutical, right?
Well, yeah. Day 2 on the Wellbutrins. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, AJ called me.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, when we talked a few days ago, he's like, I'm going to be there at 8 a.m. How's 8 a.m. sound? How's 9 a.m. sound? And I was like, hey, man.
My radio voice that you do is great. We're like, hey, this is an emergency.
I'm like, maybe you should sleep if you can.
Yeah.
And then he calls at 10:30. I'm like, he's like, hey, I might be coming soon.
Yeah.
And then he calls me. He's like, I'm out front. I'm on Wellbutrin. I'm manic. Woo! I think it's gonna be good for the pod. But man, am I bouncing off the fucking walls right now? Woo!
Yeah, I am on 150 milligrams of Wellbutrins, and that's Marciana had to wake up. She took a nap, and I felt bad. I was in the shower, and she was just kind of like, "What are you doing?" Because I was literally singing in the shower, but I was just going, "How do I feel today?" And I was just having a communication with myself. What just happened? Someone was like, "Question." I think Siri's listening to me.
No, that was strange, and I realized too that like. We definitely both have the jiggly legs today. So
yeah,
if the cameras are bouncing around at home, we're some jiggly boys today.
Jiggly wigglies.
Mr. Jiggly's over here, AJ.
Yeah. I mean, my attitude is sponsored by Wellbutrin. That's where I'm at today. Are you tired of waking up sluggish in the morning? Or do you not have the energy or drive to give it to your partner, huh? Are you just tired of being tired? Well, beauties, it's Wellbuty time. That's right. 150 milligrams starting out. That's where I'm at.
The energy to give it to your partner? Is that what you just said? So Wellbutrin makes you like a fuck machine?
Yeah, buddy. Apparently it does. I warned Marciana about that because I was like, it's an antidepressant. So, I've got there's a faucet open in my brain right now that's dripping dopamine and serotonin. So I'm feeling good. I'm also extremely confident, which is new to me. Like, I have the confidence of a frat guy that walked into a sorority after eating Viagra. Like, I could take on the world right now.
Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm in a bathroom with you on cocaine right now. Like, you're like, I feel great. I have confidence.
Good, but
I'm shaky.
Beauties.
Well, man.
Yeah, buffing out the bad times.
All my friends that are on antidepressants talk about how their dicks don't work. This one is the opposite.
No, so also,
why doesn't everyone do that one? Because if I was like given a choice where it's like, all right, do you want the antidepressants that make you a fuck machine, or do you want the ones that make your dick not work? I would definitely.
I don't know that I mean, I am saying that Wellbutrin makes you a fuck machine, but I'm not. It's in the side effects.
How hard are you getting? Like
right now, I'm mid range.
Like no, like you're still getting a normal bone.
Yeah, dude, bone time's fine. I'm 2 days in, so I don't have the full effects either.
So it could kill it. Or is that not a side effect of that?
Let's not talk about that. I don't like that. No,
so tell me more about this confidence.
So this is, oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, on the way over here, there was a cop behind me. It was terrible confidence. Where I was like, go ahead, dude, do it. Like normally, if a cop gets behind me, even though I have nothing wrong, I get like, fuck, this is gonna be a problem.
Do what? What did you want him to do?
Pull me over.
Yeah,
I wanted it, dude. I was like, come on. I was
like, were you gonna like give him?
Dude,
like,
I was ready.
AJ attorney at law. Were you gonna be like, you have no reason to pull me over, sir?
Oh no, it was worse. I would have never made the podcast because I'd already had the script in my head. I was like, as soon as he goes, you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, because you want to get tuned up. Is that what's happening, Blueberry? I'm gonna swell you up right now. Check it out. These are my tools, and I'm about to go to work. And I thought that was so funny. Then you called, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm feeling kind of manic right now."
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're about to fight cops
for no reason,
so I was just like, okay,
oh, that shuts it down.
Yeah,
but my doctor told me this. So
for those of you at home, I had to touch a button because I have ADHD, and I saw it, and I was like, that button needs to be touched.
So that's one of the primary reasons that I'm on the Wellbutrin.
Yeah.
So I'm at 150 doses, which also acts as an antidepressant. So it's good for seasonal depression also, which I also found out is...
Yeah, or as Starbucks calls it, pumpkin spice depression.
Did you know the seasonal affective disorder or something like that, the acronym is SAD? So in the wintertime, when you get sad, there's a medication you could take.
Yeah, so Wellbutrin is for ADHD too?
At 450 milligrams, it acts like Adderall, but it's a non-controlled substance. So
it acts like Adderall, but it's not. So, it's a not controlled substance.
So what she had said is at 450 milligrams, you will start to notice the effects of like being able to sit down and read a book without getting distracted 47 times. And so
yeah,
I've had issues with all sorts of stuff with it. So we were trying it for that.
But can you even be proud of yourself for reading if you're not distracted 47 times while doing it? No,
I mean, yeah, so it's
no,
weird.
you can be. You can be. It's okay.
I like how you read stuff. You can be. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you can be proud of yourself.
Yeah, but it's new. So I'm 2 days in, but I will say, like, I feel great. And that's part of the problem with mania is like, it's great. Like, dude, it's
it's what alcohol does to me. It
really?
Makes me manic. Yeah. Which is why when I quit drinking, my friends were like, "You're not any fun." It's like,
wow.
Well, yeah, it makes me manic, and then the hangover, or when I like the end of the night when I'm alone, I get depressed. So it's like alcohol makes me basically bipolar.
Yeah, I would. So do you get amped when you drink? Like booze?
It's like a stimulant, man. When I was young in my 20s, there was times when I would go on like a 3-day bender where I wouldn't sleep, and there was no cocaine involved, no meth involved or anything. That's just fueling on the booze. Or I would sleep for like an hour or two, wake up, start drinking again.
Now, when you say booze,
then day 3, just like wake up on a random toilet in a bar and be like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
I'm shitting. I blacked out shitting on a toilet. God, how long have I been sleeping in here?
Blackout time travel is always confusing.
Yeah.
But when you say booze, were you drinking like whiskeys, whatevers, or were you drinking, is this beer? Because when I was younger, I was mostly like a beer guy.
Oh, I was drinking it all, man.
Okay.
I mean, I like to experiment, I was like, you know what? I think the most fun Zac is Zac who's had a bottle of wine before he goes to the bar. That was a
Pre-game.
theory I had,
Wow.
at one point in time. You
Yeah.
know?
I don't miss the way my life was when I drank. Sometimes I miss the chaos. Like that's the weird thing. I think that's what mania makes you feel too. It's like the joy of chaos.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I mean, I'm not going to lie. It feels good to have a state of, I mean, I still find myself in those states every once in a while just from life, but, and I still drink. So,
yeah. Yeah. I would always have it was always the next morning that I hated. Like the energy I love, but it was almost like I drank 2 Red Bulls first thing in the morning when I'd wake up after a long night of drinking.
Oh yeah.
Because I would be so anxious and I'd be flying around a hotel room. Someone would be knocking on the door telling me I had to leave, and I was like trying to make sure I didn't lose stuff. I don't even know how I got through all that. And I probably only had like 5 good/bad years.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, and then it's because when you wake up and you're like in that manic stage, that's when you like really tied it on, and you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm still fucked up.
Yeah. But it's terrible when you're like, oh God, it's Wednesday. Like it's midweek and I'm this wrecked.
Oh yeah. And it's really terrible when you got to go work a 13-hour shift, or, oh man, definitely suffered.
Yeah. I used to, when I worked at UPS for years, and I remember mornings going in after I started doing comedy there, just being like half one eye open, trying to get through it. I drank for free the night before, and having a friend that I really liked that I played disc golf with, just going,
that is a shit job. UPS.
It is. I mean, yes, I think if it wasn't
especially for a hangover, they're like, all right, you're going to come in and you're just going to lift shit, and you have to be here at 4 a.m. So.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the belt, which is like the section of the company that I got put with, like that group of people in the back, man, if it wasn't for them, I probably would have left a lot earlier. But I got stuck with a group of people that we just all felt like we were the underdogs, and that's why we were shoved to the back of the building.
Yeah.
And man, there's a way to thrive there.
But I mean, I think that's kind of how corporations manage to exist and keep people in shitty jobs, is you get in there and you do form a sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Because you're a human and you're like, oh, I like these other people I'm working with. And then all of a sudden it becomes, oh, I can't quit this shitty job because I'll fuck over my friends, or I need to, work extra hard because, fuck these other people in the company, or, it's all this kind of, at the end of the day, I think it's just kind of a way to prey upon our good nature as human beings
I think so, because there's most people that I talk to that end up in a shitty job for a long period. They all say the same thing. They're all like, if it wasn't for the people, man, I'd leave.
Yeah.
And then the next thing down is like if people are like, if it wasn't for the benefits or something like that. But yeah, I've stayed at jobs that I should have left long time ago just because of the people.
I'm a regular person that's like, anytime AJ gets a job, I'm like, quit your fucking job.
Yeah.
AJ. What are you doing? Before we came upstairs, we were down in the kitchen. He's like, yeah, I think I got my work schedule cut down. I'm like, you should just quit that fucking job. Man. What are you doing? He's like, I got bills. And I'm like, who gives a fuck? Get rid of the bills, man.
But it's like, out of all the jobs I've ever had, the job I have now is great. Like I've not worked for a company that not only supports my comedy, but also like, I don't know. It's great to be there. Like I learned so much just from the other people that I work with, like whether it's talking about different activities or whatever.
No, I know that you've been tricked into liking your retail job because you sell snowboards and bikes and shit.
Yeah, dude, cruise through, sick.
You're like, hell yeah, dude, they took us to snowboard day, and then I had to fill 450 tickets.
Yeah, man, I like it.
Yeah, you're part of the co-op, dude.
Dude, I am.
How does that work at REI? Like, so do you own? So like, just being a shopper there, you can own part of it, right?
Right. Yeah, everyone should be a member. I'm for it. It's like yeah, man. I mean, I drink the Kool-Aid. I love the company. I'll tell you, if you talk to Marciana about them, it's amazing to watch her because she loves them just as much. Like,
yeah,
there's sometimes.
No, I know you guys are full brainwashed.
Yeah. You make it sound like Scientology. Yeah, it's great. We work at a flagship.
The Church of Reitology or something.
The Reitology?
Yeah.
But no, it's great. We're lucky enough to work at the flagship, and so
That's the first store.
it's not the first store, but it is like it's a monumental store. There's only like 5 of them. The first store ever was in Seattle, and it's still there. But our store generates enough revenue by the way that it's located, and just the structure of that building is. I mean, dude, even before I worked there, I used to go down there and just hang out. The way the building is set up is amazing. Also,
Yeah, I mean, that's how they get you. They just look. They're like, what idiot just likes to hang out in this fucking store, huh? What idiot just comes down here to hang?
we're like, instead of mall rats, we're REI rats.
Yeah, were you even climbing the rock wall, or were you just standing there looking at coats?
No, I'd get, dude. Honestly, like if I'm being 100%, like I would get wrapped into the shininess of climbing equipment. I really would. Like just carabiners would suck me in.
Wow. So for a guy with ADHD, if you really need to distract AJ, just throw 20 shiny carabiners up on the wall and fucking... Yeah, you don't need Wellbutrin. You need more shiny in your life, all right? You need more shiny, you weird little raccoon.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Man, so the river's right there, and there's always people swimming in the river. I call that part of the Platte, my buddies and I, we call that freeliches.
Freelich? Oh.
Because
dude,
one day
so
it was my
gross.
birthday, and we tried to go to Elich's, and they were like, it's going to be $60 a person. And we were like, $180? They were like, well, Zach, do you want to go to Elich's, or do you want us to pay for your drinks later? And I was like, let's go to Freelich's. And we just went and swam and no needles, no nothing. I've swam there a few times. I haven't gotten any hepatitis or any, diseases, E. coli, none of that.
Right.
And I always see poor children swimming there. So I just wonder if you grew up poor, you can handle it.
That reminds me of that like Carlin joke that's like where he talks about swimming in the Hudson.
Oh,
and he
Jesus.
goes, oh, yeah, you got to wash your hands. I don't have to wash my hands. We were marinated in raw shit. Like that's. But I will say, like,
gross.
they release reports.
Yeah, no, I read them every year.
And like the level of E. coli in that section of the Platte last year was so high that they were just recommending people don't get in there. And when I see someone fishing there, I'm like, you're not going to eat that, right?
Oh, well, you never know, man. I definitely ate some bass out of a pond once and didn't really think about it because I was from South Dakota, and like a friend in Colorado took me fishing in this pond. And I thought about it afterwards, and I'm like, if I get cancer, it's probably from eating fish out of that fucking pond. Like, oh, God, it was gross. But, man, we caught some bass.
Caught some bass, huh?
Fried them up. They were tasty.
I do want to say, if people can see this, I love not only when I came over and Zach was like, would you like a cup of coffee? And I was like, I do. He made sure not only did I get a Zodiac cup, but I got a Sagittarius, which if anyone is paying attention right now, this is the Zodiac that we're in.
We'll be in Capricorn by the time this comes out.
Right. Did you do your research?
No, I just weirdly know about certain zodiac symbols because almost all of my friends are...
From Captown?
Well, they're almost all born in December.
Oh. I mean, something was going on in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the balance, I think, because they're 6 months off from me. But, yeah. Most of my best friends are born in December.
Wow. So Sagittarius Capricorns?
Megan's born in there.
Okay.
Chris, Jake, Matt, Lauren.
Wow. I would have pegged Jake for a Gemini.
Yeah.
As rowdy as I've seen him sometimes.
Well, God, let's talk more about zodiac signs for people that...
weren't sick of it 2 episodes ago.
Oh, God, no, I hate it. Yeah, that's Megan's Sagittarius cup. I thought you were going to be happy. You're going to be like, Zach knew that's my rising or something, or my moon. Or
No, I'm not that far into it. I'm a Leo rising.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Man,
cool.
Where did we go?
Well, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of Christmas parties lately. I've been having some fun because you know how that goes. As a comic, Christmas parties are interesting because normally you're performing for like a diverse group of people.
Yeah, like a club or a bar or something like that.
Well, yeah, but it's not like all just one kind of people. Like I did a show the other day for all firemen.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Those guys get rowdy. You have to be super clean? Corporate clean?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, it was in a small town.
Where were you at? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't know. If
Colorado?
I was in Colorado.
Okay, that's
yeah.
all I needed to know.
Yeah, they were super nice though, and I showed up, and yeah, they were super cool. And then I did the jokes. I harassed the chief a little bit.
That's what you want to do.
They all love that.
Yeah, punch up.
And yeah, it was fun. I closed on my orgasm joke. My 15-minute orgasm joke in front of all the firemen.
For the record, it's a joke if you've seen. It's talking about. It's not a 15-minute closer.
I fake a 15-minute orgasm or whatever. But yeah, that's right. For those of you who know me, I'm still closing on that for corporate gigs. Don't give a fuck.
I do like that. Like that's a balls out move.
Yeah. Well, years ago, I found out that joke was PG-13 because I was going to do shows with Nancy Norton.
Yeah, beautiful Nance.
Love you, Nance. Uncle Nancy. And I was like, I don't think I can do all these jokes because they're not clean. And she's like, bullshit. She's like, just don't say fuck and it'll be fine.
Really?
And I'm like, I'm not doing the orgasm joke. It's not clean. And we walk into this casino and the guy walks up and she goes, hey, I have a few questions about content. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And she's like, say I was going to fake that I was having an orgasm for like 15 minutes. Would that be okay? He's like, oh, hell yeah. Just don't cuss.
Wow. Yeah. That's the baffling thing about comedy. When you go into a corporate event and you don't ask what their gauge is on clean.
Yeah.
I feel like that's on the comic.
I always ask because I performed for the renewable division of an oil company the week before.
Oh, those guys, that had to be rowdy.
They were fucking rowdy town.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was up in Wyoming. They were fucking rowdy. So literally the message I got from them is they were like, we don't want you to be super gross or something. Cussing's fine, just no cunt. But cunt was spelled in all capital letters.
So if you're going to say it, whisper it. Just don't yell it at it.
Okay, well, yeah, I never say that word. So, right. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But the weird thing that was happening was I was performing and one of the wives in the front row, the wives were all at the front and the husbands were all at the back of the table. So they were kind of separated.
Okay.
Wives in the front, boys in the back. And
so that's how I like
this guy's wife kept saying under her breath to me the whole show. She kept going, I want you to sit on my face.
What? No. What?
Yes.
What?
I want you to sit on my face.
She's saying this to you.
To me, while I'm performing.
She wants you to sit on her face.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Is that a thing they do in Wyoming?
I don't know, dude. But like, I didn't mention it was Wyoming, but the cat's out the bag now.
No, I thought you did.
Oh, did I? All right. Well, fuck you, Wyoming. We know where you're at now. But,
just bing bags and BHs right on the lady face.
Yeah, but no. So she's like saying that. And like, so it caught me a little bit off guard because like, I'm not going to lie. I just literally lost when she was like, I want you to sit on my face.
What?
I just stopped talking for like 15 seconds because
well, you had to have gone, am I hearing this?
Well, yeah, I was like, am I hearing it? And then she goes, I want you to sit on my face again. So I'm like, holy shit, she's saying it. But what fucked with me the most was not like the brazenness of the sexual advance, if you will. What fucked with me the most was that she asked me to sit on her face. And I'm like, does she want to eat my asshole? Or does she want me to like teabag her? Or is she into just like real downward momentum, deep dick throat? I was just like, is she so drunk that she doesn't know that she wants to sit on my face?
Yeah.
Like, I just was like, I have logistical questions about this. And my brain like went off in there and I was like, man, this would be a great riff right now. But I think that's maybe too much of a...
That's too much of a risk.
Yeah, that's too R. I don't know.
But also, like, did you talk to her after the show?
Yeah, we did. I think she was fucking with me thoroughly through the show, and I think she's like, "This'll get him." I don't know what was going on. Like, because when I talked to her after the show, her husband was there, and I didn't really want to.
I would have. You know what I would have loved is if her husband came up and went. She didn't say, "I want you to sit on my face," because that's literally all she can say.
Also, this woman, probably in her 60s.
What?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first on Hippie Not Hippie. 60-year-old women from Wyoming want to have just the bags and BHs just dropped on their face. Like,
yeah.
Did she just said she was messing with you?
I mean, I think she was kidding because she was fucking with me the whole time, but it definitely caught me. She said it to me under her breath and like very.
How many times do you think she said it?
She said it twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. Once is enough.
So yeah, I don't know.
The second time is like a double down.
But yeah, so then I had firefighters, and then I had lawyers. And man, the lawyers had some funny stories. There are some characters at the legal thing because I stayed afterwards for their gift exchange.
Okay.
Which they all make pretty good money, so their gifts are literally just like weird fuck yous, like somebody got a giant wooden carving of a stupid moose, and that was the most sought after prize for the thing was this fucking wooden moose. But then they're like getting up, and as a person comes up to do their gift exchange, they'll like talk about the good that they did that year or whatever.
Oh.
And there's this one woman that comes up and they're like, yeah. And man, the most memorable time about her was when we were going into the Supreme Court, which you don't always get to make arguments at that level, and it's kind of a big deal. And we were going in, and she was like, I can't come in because she had a gun in her purse. This woman apparently always has a gun in her purse, $1,000 cash, just in case she needs to hustle people in roping competitions.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? You're a character.
Yeah.
And yeah, then they bring this other guy up, and his whole thing was that he could really keep his pressure under cool because I guess in the last week they were like in a trial, and this person just yelled at the judge like, I'm gonna fucking kill you and send you to hell. And like,
what a weird quote.
Yeah, and
I hope
like,
he said it like the devil.
But the thing was about this person is then right after that, it was a woman who at one point in time had her like pilot's license and was a captain like 20 years or whatever, and he's calling her like Miss or whatever, and she's like, you will refer to me as captain. So this woman's
I love that.
making this guy, and I don't know, we'll call him Tim or whatever for the story, but she's like you will refer to me as captain, and he's like Mrs. whatever, and because he doesn't need to refer to her as captain, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh yeah, well fine, if you won't refer to me as captain, then I'll just call you pedophile Tim. So then I guess she kept calling him pedophile Tim, and then eventually the judge is like, will you just call her captain?
Oh my goodness. This is happening in court?
In court.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, holy, they all had pretty good sense of humor, because I think just, when you're dealing with that kind of shit.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, man, so this was the highlight of the year was when you were pedophile Tim and captain and all this. And he goes, fuck no, man. He's like, that was 6 days ago.
Whoa. That's just the newest thing we can remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, they were cool and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I just had we just finished, well, you were there on Wednesday. We just did all those shows with Joe Sib.
Yeah.
At Comedy Works. Man, that was super exciting. I was very nervous about like clean comedy.
Yeah?
And I don't know why, just something in my head that I think when I first started, I was drinking and I was hanging out with people that were like super edgy. And so I always thought of myself as like, oh, I'm like I'm a bad boy. And I'm just not like that.
We're old men now. We're not really bad boys anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you anymore, it's just like, look at what my crazy brain says to me. Like, my brain says this. And then it's like, I got to put... Man, Nathan Lund does...
Yeah.
He was supposed to be staying here last night. I was hoping he was, so we could maybe just get him on to do
his
impression of.
He does a fantastic impression of me. I think you can hear it at the end of one of the Chubby Behemoth podcast episodes.
Yeah, it's the one that came out 2 weeks ago when I was in the Springs. It came out right after Thanksgiving, but that's friends of the pod. Check them out. And,
for sure.
And that's the best. Like, it fucking kills me.
Yeah,
It's
Nathan and I
spot
talked
on.
about it at the Comedy Works holiday party.
Yeah.
And it was great. And he goes, so you did like it? And I was like, dude, I laughed hysterically. I thought it was great. Like, you cracked the code. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I just don't want people to think that I'm making fun of you because I don't like you. He goes, we're friends. He goes, also, he was on the road with me several times. And he goes, after like the 6th, 7th times watching you, I started to realize kind of the code.
Yeah. No, definitely. Man, what did you get from the holiday party other than that Chia Pet?
Okay. I'm really glad you brought that up. First off,
So you got a Chia Pet, and what else
did not
you
get the Chia Pet.
You didn't
God
get a Chia
damn
Pet?
This is, I don't know how this started.
How come I saw you walking out with a Chia
You did
Pet?
not see me walk. Logan, if you hear this episode, I did not take your Chia Pet.
So I
My
saw
wife
you.
didn't
I
take
saw.
your Chia
Well,
Pet.
no, you didn't take. Marciana was walking out with the Chia Pet.
She was not walking out with the Chia Pet. It was such a weird thing out of like all the people. And I talked to Logan about it. He goes, I just gotta check the sources. That's all it is. So
AJ got accused of theft at the holiday party.
And it's so crazy. Me of all people. And here's the thing. This holiday party,
Well,
I'm gonna say top shelf.
Mr. Wiggles, you're a little squirrely boy. They saw you wiggling, shaking around. They were like, I don't know, this guy might be out for a chia.
He might be Chia wiggle.
Dude, if something's stolen, you immediately got to question the wiggliest person, all right?
Which makes sense. At one point, when
they're like, what about Wiggles' wife?
Yeah. Oh, she had 2 glasses of wine.
She had the steady hand of a thief.
Oh, yeah. So
someone stole a fucking Chia Pet from
Bob
the Comedy
Ross
Works holiday.
Chia Pet at that, and it made me wonder if someone wasn't drunk and they're like, "Well, AJ's hair looks like Bob Ross," Maybe he stole it.
Yeah,
but
maybe he thought it was an AJ Finney Chia Pet.
Yeah, it was a me Chia Pet.
A Mia Pet.
A Mia Pet. Mamma Mia.
It's a Mia Pet. Mamma Mia.
It's a Mia. Mamma Mia.
It's a Mia Pet.
It's a Mia Pet.
All right, we're stupid. Fuck. All right.
But yeah, I mean, I've been to a few of the Comedy Works parties this year. God damn it.
What? There's been more than this party? Because I have only been invited to the one. So
well, that's what happens. Wellbutrin. Yeah, no, I've been to several of the parties. This year, I think
the Christmas
was my
parties.
favorite. Yeah, the Christmas party. This was my favorite. Like top shelf, 10 out of 10. It was like one of the greatest times I had. The food was good. I felt like everyone was getting along. I had more photos this year than I ever had. And at one point, Marciana and I were sitting there talking, and I wore a Topo shirt, a flannel, because I was like, well, no one's going to wear this. And Christy Buckley goes, hey, I think you and Josh have very similar shirts on. And I was like, yeah, similar, but not the same. And then at one point I looked over, and the only difference, it's the exact same shirt. Josh just has his open. And I was like, son of a, like, how does this work?
Oh, and you guys are going on tour together soon too.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You'll have to coordinate and do the same outfit one
shirt
day.
up. Yeah. But yeah, that was super fun. It was really nice to see everyone. I think there were a few people actually that I saw but didn't get around to talking to.
Yeah, I had that thing too. It's kind of a weird party because there's literally like 80 people I know there, I feel.
Right.
And, I like 78 of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But yeah, usually I get a piece of clothing and an envelope. And this year,
you got a TV.
I got a TV.
I just remembered, yeah.
Yeah, I got a 20 or a 32-inch television, which was for me a big prize.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty cool. Does it remind you of like watching TV in the early 2000s?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I thought the television that I had when I lived here that is now still in our bedroom was smaller. It's the same size.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I won the television. And then we all took photos, we hung out, and then it was probably 8:30, I told Marciana, I was like, I'm going to grab the television and get out of here before I forget. And I grabbed it, we walked out, and then I was like, we'd go back in and talk. And then I was just like, I don't want to leave the television in there. So we left. I get home.
And there's a Bob Ross Chia Pet inside of the television?
No. Oh my God, if there is, I would feel terrible, but I haven't opened it. I just want to, let me look this up so I don't mess this up. So Marcian and I, we'd gotten home. We had a good night. We were just talking about, how much fun we had. And then
it was a really nice party.
It
I had
was.
a blast.
Super fun. And I will say that's one of the perks of just being on the list at Comedy Works. Like it's a big night. Like that Wendy shows appreciation for everyone that comes out. It's just really nice. It was a great night. So at 9:49 p.m. December 5th, I get a text message from Georgia.
There's still 11 minutes left in the party.
Okay.
The party went till 10, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they're cleaning up. They're looking for their Bobby Ross.
Right. So it says, and she started by laughing, which is crazy. So
because I think if somebody's, they'd be like, is this a joke?
Right. At some point. And
not everybody knows that you're such a cold-hearted criminal like I do.
I want to share this because it kind of shows
Before the Wellbutrin, I was a thief.
I was
fucking dirty, dirty criminal.
Sticky boys.
Yeah. But he's a sticky bandit, the real deal.
Yeah. So, so this is the text I get from Georgia Comstock. It says, LOL, did you guys take a Chia Pet? ? And I was like, no. But I read it as, did you guys take a Chia Pet? And I was like, oh, man. I thought maybe, because I knew there were people's names on the list that showed up late, so maybe there were extra gifts and they were giving something out.
Yeah.
They didn't want to bring it home. So I were no. Did they give them out at the end of the night? That's what I wrote. And then
because you're FOMO, AJ. You're like, fuck, Marciana, we should have gone back in because we could have got a Mia Pet.
Right, Mia. And then it just says ha 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 ha. No. That's it. That's the next text. And
when did you know that you were in the hot seat?
It just right after that it just says Bob Ross is missing. Ha 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 ha. And I went, okay. And I was like, wow, this is why we can't have nice things. Ha 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 ha. I did not know that we had been targeted.
Oh wow.
At all. When I found out was when I got to Comedy Works on Wednesday. And then I checked my Instagram and Logan had sent me something. He's like, I think it said, hey, no disrespect. Someone told me your wife may have taken my Chia Pet. This hostility will not stand.
Did we find this? Did they find the goddamn Chia Pet?
I don't know.
Was there?
So this is what
a steal a pet. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a fun word on Chia with thief or steal, but I'm really fucking failing.
Georgia told me that they were all in a car together, and she has a memory of the Chia Pet being in the car at some point. Which, if that's true, that means the Chia Pet left Comedy Works with someone. And Logan told me, he goes, we were all drinking, so, whatever. It's not that big a deal. It's just the principle of someone said, so I'm checking. And I'm like, out of all the people...
I wish I had the courage to get drunk enough to lose my present at the Christmas party. I had 2 drinks. I'm like, I got to get out of here before I steal a Chia Pet.
A loose, yeah. just looking at the Bob Ross that's looking at you going, you're coming home with me, buddy. Just staring at it going, I want you to grow on my face.
If someone took it, I hope they crotched it. Just so that.
No. That's a fairly good-sized box. Did
happy
they take
little
it?
bush.
Wait a minute. Do you know if it was removed from the box and it was an empty box, or did they take the whole thing?
I have no idea. The only news I've heard of this theft is from you, so don't be trying to implicate me, motherfucker. I took my sweater and left like an adult, okay?
I'll be honest. If I stole that Chia Pet or if we had it, I would show it right now on the podcast. But
Yeah.
and then it would be some weird thing that we would have.
Well, yeah, here's a segment that we have come to call Zach's Hypochondriac Chat. And boy, I found two things this last week that really were very interesting to me. I don't know if you saw this, but the good folks up at, I believe, Boulder did a big experiment on what happens when you flush a toilet.
Okay.
And apparently, yeah, I already knew about this because I'd worn sandals in a bathroom before.
Oh, are you talking about the...
But they're talking about that there's an aerosol mist that comes up, like, and you're basically, anytime you flush a toilet with the lid open, you're breathing in the water in the toilet that you flush.
Yeah.
And they needed lasers to prove that. I feel like I've always known that. That's why I don't flush toilets.
I think you still need to flush the toilet.
No, you're supposed to close the lid, though.
Yeah, someone else told me that one time, just with fecal matter also being thrown up into the air.
Yeah. But I mean, and then I think about how often my toothbrush has been,
oh, God,
close to a toilet, and oh, God, it's gross. But then it's like, but I'm like, I already feel like I knew this just because I've worn sandals, and like, I definitely know about splash from a neighbor's urinal.
Yeah.
And I feel like I knew about it because I've tried to do a courtesy flush.
Oh, and you get the
you get a little beehole action. So no, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of old news for me. But then the other one that I had was that there's a bunch of fungi lurking in our drains.
Is this also in toilets, or is this in sinks?
This is drains. So, I mean, normally I would do just one, but I felt like these were kind of on the same page. The hidden things lurking in sink drains can be dangerous and even deadly.
There you go.
Yeah, sink drains and plumbing are generally unpleasant places. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. If you're a fungus, though, you may feel differently. Moldy jungles of fungal diversity, like tiny rainforests and drains.
Hold on. Well, can you say that again? Moldy fungal diversity.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
I just like that sentence.
Yeah, this sentence makes me horny. Like, the results showed moldy jungles of fungal diversity, like tiny rainforests and drains.
Moldy fungal diversity.
Moldy jungles of fungal diversity.
Moldy jungle of fungal diversity.
This is really boring.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what we did get out of it, though, was that moldy jungle of fungal diversity. I just want to, imagine trying to pick someone up at a bar and be like, I'm going to take you back to my place. I'm going to unzip my trousers, and I'm going to introduce you to a moldy jungle of fungal diversity.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I get a fungus in the future, I'm going to think of myself as just a moldy jungle of fungal diversity.
I just love that. God, what a great sentence. What a descriptor.
But the podcast is called Hippie, Not Hippie. And at first, AJ and I were like, you know what? We'll have things or people on and we'll talk about whether they're hippie or not hippie and everything. But the more we talked about it, the more we realized that everything is a little hippie. A little hippie.
I mean, I think that's, yeah. I mean, it was funny when we were listening to the episodes at home because I wanted to get Marciana's opinion because she hadn't heard them. And there was one of the episodes where you were talking about the book on astral projection meditation.
It's a guided meditation by Dick Sutphin, okay?
And when you said that, she looked at me and she just goes, does Zach understand how hippie he might be?
Yeah, but the thing is though, is that's fun for me.
Right.
I'm not, I don't know. I do agree that I have some levels of hippiedom.
Right.
But we have, for example, I asked a crowd the other day, I'm like, I do a podcast called Hippie Not Hippie. Which part of the podcast do you think I am? And the crowd was like, we think you're a hippie. And I was like, fuck you. Yeah. and went off on him a little
Yeah.
bit. But no, I definitely have some hippie traits. So what we've realized is that, hippiness is more like sexuality or autism. There's a spectrum.
There's definitely a spectrum. We are working on trying to come up with a scale for different questions to gauge how hippie something or someone is.
Yeah, and one of the first ones that I was thinking of, like one that I don't think people think about, is it's like, okay, what kind of shoes do you wear?
Ooh.
I think footwear is where a lot of people may dip their toe
wow.
into hippiedom.
I like that.
The next episode, we are going to define our different levels of, and different ways that we can classify or judge how hippie. I think we're going to start with the people for this.
Right.
So,
but then we've got to get into footwear for sure on the next episode.
Oh yeah, we'll get into footwear, but there's a lot of music.
Music, clothing,
beliefs,
hair, food. That's
food.
I
diet,
think it's weird. Diet, lingo. What about
drug use?
Drug use, places. There are certain areas that are known to be hippie.
Type of dog.
Ooh, hippie dogs.
So yeah, if you have any ideas on things that you think we may miss, or just any suggestions on how to help us classify people on the spectrum of hippiness, we would love to hear from you.
Also, if you have anything that we would like to break down, if you have a band that you're like, this isn't hippie, or anything that you would like to see us kind of break down, that would be fun.
Because we're still figuring this out. We're fucking around. We literally like, some of these may be bad, some of them may be good. We're trying though. We want them to be good.
Yeah, we're thinking around 10-20 we're gonna hit our stride.
Yeah. But please share the podcast, like, subscribe, rate, do all that shit. I hate to ask you to do that, but it really helps a lot. And really the most important thing is, if you have a friend that you think would like the show, pass it along to them.
Yeah. And tell them to stick out their thumb and get on the bus.
If every person that listens to this passes it along to one person a day, I did the math, in the whole world will be listening to our podcast in about 8 weeks. So
also, like, what a hippie way to do something. Just pass it to the left, pass it to the left.
Yeah,
the whole world involved.
Oh, yeah. So, we've got a Patreon now. We're getting ready to start putting out some secret episodes. We're going to have, I got a t-shirt press, so we're going to have unique and special merch that's going to be on sale. And right now, new content will be coming out on the Patreon at the beginning of the year. But if you want to just throw some support now, get in line, feel free to join up. And we love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast.
And check it out at Instagram. Right? Hippie, not hippie pod. This will be coming out around New Year's. So if you're going to be at the Mission Ballroom for the string cheese incident, the December 29th, 30th, and 31st, find me. Let me know what you thought of the show. I will be there every night, wiggling and jiggling.